Hey, good morning, everyone. Tim here at the house. Today is December the 31st, 2021. And wanted to come and talk to you. And one of my favorite things to do is to sit down and talk to you about love and about the Lord and His goodness and His mercy. So just wanted to spend some time with you today, if you allow me to do that. And I wanted to talk about, of course, my favorite subject is love. And well, first of all, I want to say I believe that you all had a Merry Christmas and are looking forward to a happy New Year, a happy, great New Year that we're going to have. I assure you, that's what the Lord has showed me. So I wanted to share that with you this morning as well. I did had a great Christmas. December this year seemed to have been a very busy month for me. I and of course I went out on Christmas Eve and spent Christmas Eve with my son Thaxton and his wife Mandy and my two grandsons, Cademan and Mason. My grandsons are now getting older. Mason, Cademan is 15 and Mason is 12. I hope I got that right. I know, I know Cademan is 15. And I don't understand it. They're getting older, but I'm getting younger. But I'll take it, right? So we'll just take it that each day we're getting younger and younger. And so we'll go into the 2022 with a young mindset about what's coming. Okay. So, but I wanted to talk to you. Like I said again, my favorite subject is love, because when I talk about love, I actually talk about God. And so I want to, spend some time with you today. And I'm believing and trusting, and maybe some of you already have this, but I'm believing and trusting that you get the true revelation of love and that it becomes a true revelation to you. And of course, we know that when we have a revelation of something, it's being revealed to us and will continue to be revealed to us. That's kind of what's happening. Oh, got my hand in the way there. That's kind of what's happening. Well, excuse me. That's kind of what's happening now, and we'll continue on that we'll get the true revelation of love, and as we understand that, then there's more increase that will come into our lives. And like I talked to you last time, I talked to you about the hedge of protection that love brings, and how important that is to have that love walk, or to walk in the love walk, and how it would give you ordered steps of your life, and how important it is to walk in that hedge of protection. And as we talk about these things, you're seeing and you're realizing and you're hearing that there are so many hedges that are in our lives, and especially the hedges that love brings, and how we deal and how we live life, and how we live life in a blessing, and how we live life in a successful manner, and our mindset is that as well. This morning I was texting a group of people that I pray for every morning, and then also posted this on Facebook as well. But I pray for a group of people every day, and the Lord was talking about, and that I needed to share with them. And to me, this is also to becoming and adding more to the understanding and having the revelation of love, understanding God. He said to me, he said, "Whosoever will." We've heard that repeated in the Bible several times. Whosoever will, whosoever will. And he was wanting me to express this, that how important your will is. Everything that you have in life, everything you achieve in life, the successes and failures in life is determined by your will. And in turn, like I said, your will determines all those things. So we want to be determined in our will to walk in God's will for our life, and walk in His goodness and mercy. And we're going to see that as we do that, then we're going to answer His call about being in His will. And whosoever will means you, that you will continue to walk or start to walk more in the will of God, for your life. I think a lot about life, and I know I've expressed to you several times that I always check myself, through life. I check my love walk, check how I deal with people, just a checklist, if I may say that. It's really not a list, but what's been brought to my mind about how am I living my life out, and so I'm ever checking myself to be sure that I'm going in the right way, that I have the right mindset. And I want to say that over to you as well in 2022. I want you to improve yourselves. And that may sound kind of weird, but I want you to improve the way that you think, the way that you act, and the way that you see life, and how you will go through life. And so I'll get in a little bit more of that about what God has showed me for 2022. Not just He's showing that for me. I think He's showing it for the BOC. I call it the BOC, which is the body of Christ. And anyhow, we'll talk more about that as we go in the videos. But anyhow, I text the folks today, and if you get me on Facebook as well, you'll be able to read what I said there. And I went into much more detail than just what I said to you briefly here on starting our conversation today. But like I said, I'm really believing that this year will become a more revelatory or revealing about how God really loves you and how much He really cares for you. I think about love, and I hear people's definition about love, and I want to be sure that we have the correct definition of what love really is, and that in turn will bring you the true revelation of what I'm talking about love. So again, like I said, love is not just a feeling. Love is not an action, but love is a person. And the person that I'm talking about is God, because the word says that God is love. And without God, we can't have a true revelation or have true love in our life. I talk a lot about mine and Carolyn's life, and the whole series of the videos that I have been doing now since Carolyn went home in May of 2020. I think I have over 100 plus videos on there, and talk about different things, how our life was gauged, and how our life was molded, and how our life was brought about through understanding love. And I also talked about how, as you understand love more, and you will, that it becomes your identity. And so I don't have to wear a badge, say I'm the love doctor or anything like that, but people know that I love them, but because of what they see in not only my action, but the see in the words that I talk about God. And again, those things are so powerful and so important in our lives today, that we want to walk in total victory, right? In everything that we involve ourselves in, and we want life to be victory on top of victory. I talked about that we experienced, things in life that was, that weren't, or didn't seem at times they were victories or in our life, or, we were no different than you, that we had things that come against us, those are the third kind, I call them, but we moved into the first kind of love, and the understanding of that how it helped us overcome. And I'm gonna repeat this: it helped us overcome every obstacle that we came up against. There's nothing that we weren't able to defeat when we walked in love and stayed in love, and then God could bring us, because we were in a state of rest and a state of being in love. Especially with Him, and then being in love with each other. And because we know, as God says He loves us, and we understand that what the Scripture says, that that he gave his very best gift. He gave Jesus his only son because he loved us so much. And so God is not asking anything but that you accept his love, and he wants to love you and give you the very best life that you can have. And you can have it. Like I said, I assure you that, I've lived a life a long time, probably the majority of you people. I'm quite a bit older than you are. And I've seen this work in every aspect of our life. Did it seem to be hard at times to do that? Yeah, because, you're faced with the physicalities of life and the temptations of life and just life in general, And so you had to be very aware of that, because you didn't want to get offended, that you didn't want to get off in the wrong direction. Because remember, I explained to you, when you get offended about something, that was a word that phrased that or represented that, and it was called scandalon, and that's where scandal comes in a person's life. It's when they get offended. And I talk a lot about forgiveness, that you need to learn to forgive, and how important it is that you pray for those who despitefully use you. And that's a pretty hard task sometimes, right? So what I'm saying about that is that if you continue to walk in that realm, and then I'm talking about the realm of love, and have more revelation about that, you're going to see that things will be very, very easily understood in how you are supposed to live your life. And you will determine and have your will that you will be one of those whosoever will, that you will, your will determine your destiny and our mindset as we think about things, and become a paradigm shift. I'll get it out right in a minute, about how we need to approach life. So we're going to get into that. We're going to talk a little bit about that and what the Lord has showed me, going forward. One morning, and I'm sure if my group of people that I pray for, that I text on often occasions, I send a lot of texts to them. They've heard this as well, and I know they're subscribers as well to my the YouTube channel too, and then of course my Facebook, and then of course texting directly to them, that they heard me say this. But I wanted to say this to you as well. One morning when I woke up and I was praying, I had such a powerful feeling inside of me. Was just kind of stirring inside me when I was praying and reading the Word. And I began to speak over my day. I began to speak over you guys that I pray for, and speaking into your life. And God began to show me a lot of great things, not only for right now, but for into the year of 2022. And one of the phrases that he gave me, and I'll repeat this, he says, fortune favors the faithful. Hear that again. Fortune favors the faithful. So I got to thinking about that, and that the favor of God's love gives us the beginning of that and the understanding of that. But our fortunes in life, and fortunes can mean other things besides just finances. Most time that's related to or denotes finances or wealth or whatever, and that is a fortune too. But if we have a fortune of how to live our life, how to live in relationships, and fortunes that pertains to everything that we need in this life. And then God showed me, he said that fortune favors the faithful. I'm going to repeat that again. Fortune favors the faithful. And what he's saying is the fortune that you and I have through him and through the mighty power of his love, because he is love, and that is the character or the person of love is the Lord. The word says God is love. So if God is love, love is God, right? Now we have all kinds of definitions about that, what people think about it. Some people think love is a sexual act. They think love is just the desires or lusts that they have for things or whatever, or they, I don't think they really understand it properly. But if you understand that, and you will be getting the revelations of that. Again, I talked about having revelation of that is directly proportioned to the provisions that you will have in life. And then I had also talked about that my identity and learning my identity and you learning your identity is going to be love. Your identity is going to relate directly to the Lord. And we know the word says, again, I repeat it, that God is love. And so love is God, right? So that's where we get our strength in life. That's where we get our overcoming ability in life. But as he was talking about to me about this, to share this, how our fortunes is favored, the faithful, is that the fortunes that we have in life is the favor that God gives us when we're faithful to understand these things, to understand his promises, to make demands on the promises, to declare the promises, to call in the promises. You know, I was going to read a letter that my son wrote me on Christmas. That was one of my Christmas presents. He just wrote me a letter, and I'm gonna think about sharing that with you. But about how he talked about how we establish a legacy of goodness in our lives, and so that's what I'm establishing in you by the conversations that we have. But again, when he was talking about being faithful, when we're faithful to love people, and then when we do that, I know we hear the Ten Commandments that says thou shalt not this or thou shalt not that, but we know that the greatest commandment is to love the Lord with all your heart, all your mind, all your strength, and your neighbor as yourself, right? So there's really only two commandments, and both of those commandments can pertain to love. And when we're able to fulfill those commandments, and when we're working on those commandments, all the other things will be a natural flow of our lives. That we won't covet this, or we won't, steal, kill, and all that stuff, all the things, shed innocent blood, those things that are do's and don'ts about the Ten Commandments. We live those out in the two commandments that I talk about, and both commandments are about love. So he was saying to me, he said, Tim, the fortunes that you have came out of my favor because of your faithfulness. And I thought about how many times I wasn't faithful. How many fortunes did I miss out on? How many fortunes have you missed out on because you weren't faithful? And then not being faithful, then you couldn't have favor. I talk about favor all the time because I have favor all the time. But at times in my life, I wasn't faithful to hear and obey what he was saying. So I changed that right away because I wanted to walk in God's love. I wanted to walk in God's success. I also talked a little bit about that I had very few failures in life, very few setbacks in life, because I was ever mindful of that. And that's why I said I'm always checking up on Tim. Am I walking the right way? Am I saying the right things? Because I'll explain to you why. Because I get what I say, and I say what I get. So I say what I get. So I'm very careful with my words, how I put my words out there, because the word says about your words that whatever they're sent forth to do, they will not return void. They will accomplish the purpose that they're sent out to do. So that's why I'm very careful in my words, because I get what I say. And you actually get what you say, whether you understand that or not. So what I'm saying is that favor, because of the faithfulness, that favor now brings fortune to you. Just a little tidbit, and I'll share this with you. I still have Carolyn's van, and I hardly ever drive it or anything, but I keep it up and have it inspected, every year like that. And so I had taken it down to get it inspected, and while I was in took it to the inspection station, or I think it's Valvoline station down here close to us, or Quick Car, one of the two. But anyhow, I took it in, and they said, well, go ahead and sit in the waiting area, Mr. Rivers, and we'll take care of that for you. So I was in there, on my phone, talking to some people as well, and just enjoying being sitting inside and not thinking about the inspection or whatever. And so the lady came in, she said, Mr. Rivers got you all fixed up, and said, I got it, I pulled it around to the front, got it running, all you do is get in it and you're good to go. What I thought when I stepped out of the door, I reached in my pocket, in my left pocket, and it may look in the video that I'm on my right hand, but you know how it is on your camera, it reverses the sides. But anyhow, I reached in my pocket to pay, and I said, well, how much do I owe you? And she said, you don't owe me anything, Mr. Rivers. I said, oh yeah, I need to pay for the inspection. And she said, no, we wanted to bless you today. This is at a business, and that's what they do. All changes, inspections and mechanical work and, stuff like that. But they said, I wanted to bless you today. So I said, well, thank you. I was kind of taken away about it. And I started thinking about the favor of God that I have on my life. So I went that day, and I like to shop at Aldi's. Maybe this is a pitch for Aldi's, but I like shopping at Aldi's. And so I was in Aldi's, and I was in line, and I'd had my little amount of groceries that I was getting, because I don't, cook a lot at home in the sense where I make big meals. I just cook as I need it, and so anyhow, I was in line, and this was a real attractive woman, older woman that was standing, was in front of me in line, and so I put my groceries up there, and Tim, those that you really know me, that I try to talk to everybody. So sometimes, she kind of looked at me kind of strange. She kind of looked me up from the bottom up, from the floor up, and thought, well, what is this guy? Is he trying to hit on me or something like that? Or, you never know what is going through people's minds. So it didn't bother me. I just kept on talking, and she kind of looked at me kind of strange. And then she reaches over and puts a little stick between my groceries and hers. And so I just started kidding her. I said, well, I think I'll just remove the stick, and I'll just put my groceries with yours, and you can take care of that. And she said, well, really, I was thinking about letting you pay for my groceries. I said, well, I can do that. And so we laughed about it, and she checked on out, got her stuff in her buggy and everything. And so the lady that was there began to check my items out that I had. And so she did, and I reached in my pocket to pull out my card, and to put it in the credit card machine. And I noticed the lady left her card, and I said, "Oh, ma'am." I turned around; she was still on that side of me. I said, "Oh, ma'am, And I looked around, and she walked around behind me, and she said, "Don't touch that card." And I thought, well, maybe this lady don't want me fooling with her credit card. I can understand that. So I didn't. I drew my hand back and smiled at her, and she reached and pulls her card out and went on around to the side. They have a deal where you box your own groceries or sack your own groceries. And so I didn't think nothing of it. And so I've got my card in my hand now, and I was going to put it in the machine, and the lady said, "Oh, you don't need to do that." I said, "Why?" She said, "Because that lady paid for your groceries." I thought, I turned around, oh, ma'am, you can't do that. But she said, "Sir, you really blessed me today." And I said, I didn't. I said, well, thank you so much. And all of a sudden it just kind of rose up inside of me. I immediately put my shades on, because tears began to come to my eye. And I thought about, oh God, you're so good to me. You bless me. Things happen for me like this all the time. It happens to me all the time. And so I put my shades on. I walked on out, and I got in my car and I pulled around, and the lady was still there by her car. And I got my window down. I said, "Lady," I said, "Ma'am," I said, "bless you. Thank you so much. Uh, you didn't have to do that." And she said, "I know, but sir, you'll never know how much you bless me." And I thought, what did I say to her? Was my smile, was my words, was it just my overall demeanor? And I got going down the road, and the Lord said, that's my love inside of you. It's irresistible, and people want to do stuff for you all the time. And that's where my favor comes in, because you've been faithful to love people and speak that over people. And man, that my whole day was just full of stuff like that. You may say, well, I've had things like that happen to me, or you may say, I've never had anything like that to happen to me. But I want to tell you that as you are faithful to love people, and when you're faithful to love people, you're loving God, that the favor will come to you, and then fortunes will come to you. I had told you in the past that I had would tell the Lord at times, or in the mornings and in the evenings, that be sure to tell Carolyn I love her and that I miss her. And you know the story behind when he said, I can't tell her you miss her anymore because she don't miss you. So like I said, I didn't know how to take that. But anyhow, when I started thinking back on the things that the Lord speaks to me about, and he told me in that case, he said, every time you tell me that you love me, you're telling your loved ones that have gone before you that you love them, because they are in me. And if they're in me and you're in me, you're in love. You're in love because I am love. So I thought, man, that is so beautiful. And so that was my thoughts through the whole day. It has been my mindset for almost 50 years. The mindset that I had learned that it had been my mindset, and I see that, and I'm saying this over you. Fortune favors the faithful. As you continue to walk in love, and it becomes more of a true revelation to you, the true revelation of love to you, you're going to see that happen because you're being faithful to God, and God is love. When you're faithful to God, favor will come to you, and then fortune will come to you. Fortune favors the faithful. Do you see how beautiful that is and how that kind of flows together? He showed me those three things. He said, Tim, that's how you have lived your life, loving people. Some have been not loving towards you, and that's okay. When I say it's okay for me. It's not okay for them because they walked out of that protective hedge of love that I bring. So I'm just wanting to reassure you, as you walk in your faithfulness, as you walk in your love walk, then you will continue to have favor, and then you'll have a fortune. Now, I know that you have favor in your life, but do you want an increase of favor in your life? I know I do. And that's why I said I check myself all the time. Am I walking in the love walk? How did I treat people today? What did they see in me today? What did they see in my smile? What did they see in hearing my words? What did they see in my countenance? What did they see about the demeanor of my whole body? Does it illuminate love? Is it an attention that brings? See, the attention of those things brings, which is the favor, which is the faithfulness, brings the favor, which brings the fortunes. So I want to say to increase your favor today by increasing your love walk, and then you will have your fortunes. Your fortunes will come about. You'll have that throughout life. So that's what God showed me, and I'm wanting to kind of reveal that or talk to you about that Two, I've got a couple other things that's very important that I want to say to you through beginning of 2022. Again, let me, I'm going to end right now and start up with the next video, but remember to walk in love because we are eternal, and you want the eternal love to be present now and work the same way that it's going to work and is working in eternity. I'll be back in a few minutes and we'll pick up where I left off, okay? Hang on.